I'm having my first cup of coffee. Um, like I said, it's pretty early. The sun is up, so it's not so bad, but I have to have coffee. Years and years ago, I used to drink a coffee called Chock full of nuts, and I decided I'm going to give that a try again. It's very smooth, and that's what I'm drinking this morning. No, they don't give me any recognition for using their name. I'm just saying that I do like it. It's very mild, it tastes good. And I'm trying to get back to drinking black coffee because I don't like putting all that cream in my coffee, but sometimes, you know, you just have to do what you just have to do. So I want to talk a little bit more about eggs, breakfast, and things like bacon. I know that the Lord says everything in moderation, and sometimes our brains have to be kind of retaught that. We have to be taught that it's okay not to overeat, and so one of the ways that I find is the easiest, and it also makes sense because it makes it a lot easier to cook it in the pan, is to take my bacon and, sorry for the light behind me, take my bacon and I cut it in half. Now I do it when it's semi-frozen. It's a lot easier to, and I'll show you how I do this, and then I will show you how I cook it as far as why I do it this way. So this is just a really quick tip for how to keep bacon. You know, in the grocery stores, bacon always comes in a big package like this, and there's just the two of us, me and Eric. So what we do, or what I do, is I take a knife, make sure that you have good meat on both sides. Sometimes there's too much fat on one side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my, not super sharp knife, and I'm going to go down through, and I'm going to cut this in half. Then I'm going to pop it open, make sure that the meat is cut all the way through. Again, you need a sharp knife, and I didn't really have a sharp knife that I picked out of the drawer, but that's okay. We'll get through it. All right, then you're going to take out half of your bacon. And this is what we will cook over the next few days. And we're going to pop this in a bag. And then we're going to take this, we're going to fold it. So we're going to take this, and you see I left it in this package, not only because it keeps it from getting this bag greasy, but also it always tells you what you have. This will go inside this bag, and I will put this in the freezer, and then we will have bacon for a lot longer, because bacon, although it lasts a long time in the refrigerator, it doesn't last as long as if you freeze it. So I have my bacon here on my cutting board, and I'm just going to come about halfway with a knife. It's partially frozen because it's a lot easier to cook. And yes, I leave it in the package to do this. So I just basically cut it in half. And it takes two hands, so I'm going to have to put the phone down because I can't videotape myself doing this with only one hand. So my videographer is out here, and so he's going to video this. So I cut this in half, and like I said, it's quasi-frozen. You want it that way because then your meat cuts beautifully. It doesn't shred like normal. Then I simply take out, without tearing through the entire bag, half of the bacon. Peel off what Eric and I will eat for one morning. Put the rest back in, fold it over. Oops. Put the rest inside a baggie. This way you always know what you have in here. You see the bacon through the baggie. And this goes in the refrigerator, and we'll eat this over the course of the next 2 or 3 days. This makes it so much easier. I'll put this in the fridge and then come with me and I'll show you how I cook my bacon. So I have my bacon here, and like I said, it is a little bit frozen. And so it takes me a second to pull it apart. But you'll see now, I'm not having to deal with, well, I am having to deal with a little bit of frozenness. I'm not having to deal with bacon that's larger than the pan. So it goes down into the pan. And I had this burner on for that egg that I was cooking. And so normally I put my bacon in a cold pan so that it doesn't curl. But hopefully this is frozen enough it won't curl anyway. But you can see that the bacon sits in a small pan. Each of us will still I'll get 2 pieces, Eric will get 3. And honestly, that's plenty of bacon. There's plenty of meat on it. And we don't miss the long strips of bacon. We are going to have plenty here. Your mind gets told, okay, I have 3 pieces of bacon. And so that's important as far as, learning to cut back food. It's all in how it's presented. So we do this to cut back on the amount of bacon we eat, but also we want the bacon. So cutting it in half, we put it on the plate. We still get 3 and 2 pieces, and it seems like that's enough.